Yes. Oh, you got this.
Got this.
You got this.
Got this.
Let's roll, bro. I got your back. I got your back.
How many times I've said those words before again will I ever hurt?
Yes, I'd like to make a police report.
Okay, what's the address?
Elm Street.
Okay, what kind of report?
A missing person.
Okay, what's your name?
Mine or hers?
Yours?
Dorothy.
Okay, and who's
Latigue.
missing?
Keimani.
Is this your daughter or son?
This is my granddaughter.
Okay, do you have custody?
I do.
Okay, how old is she?
13.
How long ago she's been missing?
To the best of my understanding, she's just been missing this morning. And I called her school and went up to her school and they said she's not there.
What school does she go to?
Spring.
Do you remember, did you see what she was wearing before she left?
No, she's usually going to school before I get home from work.
Okay. Is she black, white, or Hispanic?
She's black. She looks Hispanic.
Okay, and then what was her last name?
Latigue.
Your phone number?
419.
Okay, does she have a phone on her that you're aware of?
She does, and it's dead. Because it's going straight to voicemail.
Alright, I'll be out, then they'll be out.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Alright, bye.
I just want to be over with.
What's your name? Kill me.
Dude, show me your fucking hands right now. Pull your fucking hand out. I swear to God.
I hate the way I think. I hate the way I see things. And all I do is sit back and try to just act like I don't see shit. Because if I do something about it, I'm going to jail. I'm the one getting in trouble.
Today we got an exclusive update with information you will find nowhere on the net. All I ask, when you get in here, can you kindly hit the like button and leave a comment from where you're viewing from? Because this case touches hearts across the world. It's time for everybody to be fully transparent so we can get to the bottom of this once and for all. In this video, we're gonna learn why Tiara been diverting the attention from Darnell to Dorothy. We go hear from Darnell's little brother speaking on behalf of the Ogletrees. We also learned that Darnell made a phone call to Linda Ogletree, his mother, and she wasn't being that honest with the police. And also new information has been released, possibly leading to more arrests. That's right, everybody getting investigated and nobody safe. And you definitely gonna wanna stick to the end for this one. In the last 24 hours, we had some major updates in this case. Now, although Darnell told investigators he dragged Keimani's body involuntarily to the vacant house on Miami Street to take her life, well, Darnell stood before the judge and pled not guilty to all 15 counts against him for the murder of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue. If convicted, Darnell Jones possibly faces life in prison or either the death penalty.
Let me see if I can be a little more precise here. Okay. So, with respect to count one, Judge, to the charge of aggravated murder on behalf of Mr. Jones, we offer a plea of not guilty. To the 3 felony murder specifications, the 29 to 2904A7 specifications, we offer pleas of not guilty. To the murder to escape specification, we offer a plea of not guilty. To the sexual motivation specification, we offer a plea of not guilty, as well as a plea of not guilty to the sexually violent predator specification. Likewise, for count 2, to the substantive count of aggravated murder, we offer a plea of not guilty. To the 3 felony murder specifications attached to that count, we offer a plea of not guilty. To the murder to escape specification, it's a plea of not guilty. Sexual motivation specification, we offer a plea of not guilty. A plea of not guilty to the sexually violent predator specification. With respect to the substantive count and charged in count 3, the aggravated murder, we offer a plea of not guilty. To the 3 felony murder specifications attendant to count 3, we offer a plea of not guilty. To the murder to escape specification, we offer a plea of not guilty, as well as a plea of not guilty for the sexual motivation specification and the sexually violent predator specification. For count 4, it's the same process to the substantive count, not guilty. To the 3 felony murder specifications, not guilty. Murder to escape specification, not guilty. Sexual motivation specification, not guilty. And the sexually violent predator specification, not guilty. Because those first 4 counts are capital offenses, I believe it's appropriate to enter a plea not only to the substantive count, but to each specification. Beginning with count 5, we don't have a capital charge. So what we're going to do is offer a plea of not guilty to count 5 and the attendant specifications. As to count 6, we're going to offer a plea of not guilty to the count and the attendant specification. With respect to count 7, we offer a plea of not guilty to the substantive count and to the 2 attached specifications. With respect to count 8, we offer a plea of not guilty to the substantive charge of kidnapping and the 2 attendant specifications. Count 9, we offer a plea of not guilty to the substantive count of kidnapping and the 2 attached specifications. We offer pleas of not guilty to counts 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Thank you, counsel.
The victim representative for Keimani was present and was Keimani's grandmother, Dorothy. I find it rather puzzling that the whole time while Tiara was on a press run claiming to be campaigning for justice for Keimani, the prosecutor stated that the only one that applied to represent Keimani was Dorothy. Now that's nasty work. Many people was wondering why Keimani's biological mother Tiara didn't attend her funeral after she was provided transportation free of charge via Greyhound. This raised a lot of suspicion, especially after receiving various donations and cash apps that she requested for a probate lawyer. However, she didn't even pull up to the courtroom. She showed up via Zoom with her camera off, and what she told the judge left the world speechless.
Keimani's mother told the court,
"The last time that I was permitted to see my child was her 11th birthday. I would say that based on the interactions that I've had with my daughter and the conversations that we had, I do believe we were close."
Because to our understanding, according to Tiara, her baby daddy Darnell brought Keimani right before the disappearance. But for some reason, she left this information out of the probate hearing. Let me know in the comments real quick, why y'all think that she told the judge the last time she laid eyes on Keimani was her 11th birthday?
Her and her sister had already spent the week up here together. Because I have a 4-year-old. She was up here with Keimani for a whole week before that. My daughter's dad got permission from my mother to bring Keimani to me on Saturday the 15th. That had nothing to do with no birthdays. I don't know where people keep getting that from, but that's not what I said. She came up to see me because, again, I'm paying child support. I still have my parental rights. So that was my visit.
There was no lawyers in the probate hearing. Dorothy represented herself, and the judge actually granted the motion based on who was actually in Keimani's life. So when I heard Tiara tell the judge, I believe we was close and I haven't seen her since her 11th birthday, I know she felt defeated, and that's probably the last time we was gonna hear from her. So I guess the big question here is, why was she doing interviews and tell the world that her baby daddy Darnell brought Keimani to her right before he brutally took her life, and instead commit perjury on the stand and deny seeing her for 3 years, which in fact jeopardized everything she was trying to accomplish? Have you ever just sat back and wondered why Tiara haven't said anything bad about Darnell during this whole ordeal? In any one of them interviews, even after he fled and the police charged him with this heinous act of her 13-year-old child at the time. And what Tiara do? Turn around and cast all the blame on Dorothy. Well, the truth of this matter is stranger than fiction, but it's all about to make sense by the end of this video. And Tiara been purposely withholding valuable information in this case from the public, and at the same time, spread misinformation and push a narrative she constructed to capitalize off the death of Kei'Mani Latigue. In this next clip, Tiara and one of her minions was trying to confuse the masses to believe that Darnell was cooperative with the Toledo Police Department from beginning to end. What I found rather shocking was how she tried to dismiss and downplay the evidence that the police rounded up at the baby mother house in Toledo. The real hero in this situation. She the woman that actually told the police his whereabouts.
Or there was a warrant for him and he was nowhere to be found, which is not true.
No, it's not. Darnell's been perfectly cooperative. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, when I was on my way down here, when I was on my way down here, because I got on the bus at like around 12 or whatever, like 12 in the afternoon. So I called him to let him know, like, hey, I'm on my way down there. I should be there by like 2. And he was already at the precinct. He said they had just, completely tore his house up, went through everything, searched everything. And then they brought him down to the precinct so that they could interrogate him. After they interrogated him, because they kept him down there for a long time, they took his phone. They asked him if he had cameras. He said, yes, in fact, we do. But they didn't ask for the camera footage. But he said, had they asked, he would have offered it up, no problem.
What about the said that there was boots?
I don't
covered in
know
a
nothing about no damn boots. My baby daddy don't wear boots. I ain't never seen this man in a pair of boots in my entire life. About no damn boots. My baby daddy don't wear boots. I ain't never seen this man in a pair of boots in my entire life.
The things he told us was not true. Why is he lying to us?
Darnell Jones' current girlfriend felt he wasn't being all the way truthful with her when he advised her to shut off the cameras in the home. Paranoid of being questioned by the police again because he was being deceptive. Around this time, she possibly learned from a family member that Darnell possibly was storing evidence in her house. In fear for her and her daughter's life, she contacted the police. And that's when Darnell took flight to Columbus. So the moment he called her cell phone, the Toledo police reached out to Columbus. And the rest is history. Shout out to her for being brave and standing up, because if it wasn't for her, he'd probably still be on the run.
Jones' girlfriend telling 13 Action News she called detectives when she learned he allegedly hid evidence in her home. 13 Action News reporter Alexis Means remaining on this story, on your side with new details in this case. Alexis?
And Christian, she told me that Darnell Jones has never been violent toward her, and she told me that she doesn't know why he killed Keimani.
Keimani used to be over my house all the time, and we loved her. And now she don't have to grow up without seeing her sister anymore. I mean, I don't feel bad for anything he's going through, but her, she did not deserve none of that she got. Nobody do.
She didn't want us to show her face, but you can hear her voice trembling as Darnell Jones's then girlfriend shares how she helped Toledo police with evidence in the case. Last Friday, police set up a meeting to question Jones.
The weird thing about it is because before they even showed up, he asked me to turn my cameras off. I have cameras in my house, and he asked me to turn them off. And I was like, why would you want me to turn the cameras off? He said, because I didn't come home till 5 o'clock that morning. And he didn't want them to suspect anything because he didn't show up till 5. And I'm like, well, thinking in my head, I'm like, well, if you don't have anything to hide, then why should I turn the cameras off? And I didn't, but he thought I did.
She and Jones have a 2-year-old daughter together. She says she was in the room when Jones tried to hide evidence connected to the case in her house.
After the police took us downtown and questioned us, I came back home before he did, and my family that was here informed me that he hid something under my stairs in my basement. So I called the detectives, and they came and did a search warrant and grabbed it. And once he noticed those were gone, that was the last time I seen him.
Police executed a search warrant. What did he hide under your stairs?
It was like a mat for the back of your truck, not a pickup, but SUV. You know, when you lay your seats down and you put that rubber mat in there to protect the back of your seats in case you're hauling something. That's what he rolled up and put in my basement. And his work boots, which were caked with mud. I never seen him put it under there, but I wasn't about to hold no evidence for him or none of that. He must have thought that.
Jones went on the run to Columbus, where he used to live.
After the search warrant and he disappeared, we left the house because I was scared that he might come back and harm one of us.
Police located him after he called his girlfriend, and she called police.
And Kei'Mani Latigue, the victim in all of this, was laid to rest last week shortly after a public memorial walkthrough. Family says her body was cremated. Keimani disappeared March 18th, then found dead by police the following week in an abandoned Toledo house. An arrest warrant was put out for Ogletree Jones. He was found in Columbus and shot by police.
This is now a capital murder case. Jones is facing a total of 15 charges, including aggravated murder for the death of 13-year-old Kei'Mani Latigue. Now, he also faces charges with rape, kidnapping, and tampering with evidence. Toledo police said in a court document that Jones admitted to dragging Kei'Mani Latigue involuntarily to an abandoned home and killing her. Lucas County Prosecutor Julia Bates sent us a statement about the indictment. She says, quote, "This case involves one of the most heinous sets of facts I've seen in more than 40 years working in the Lucas County Prosecutor's Office." She also says, "We will try this case, not in the court of public opinion, but in a courtroom with a professional team defined by compassion, integrity, and commitment to the rule of law." Now, Jones is now eligible for the death penalty, as this is a capital crime. However, we did reach out to Bates regarding if she would seek the death penalty. However, we have not got that answered yet. We'll continue to keep you guys updated as we learn more. Reporting live in downtown Toledo, Silver Barker, WTOL 11.
So we now know that Keimani Latigue's father has been indicted in the rape and murder of the 13-year-old girl, but our 11 Investigates team is finding out even more information about the day that she disappeared. Lead investigator Brian Duggar joining us as our team coverage continues. Brian?
For this morning that indicates Keimani's father, Darnell Jones, was at the house when police arrived to investigate her disappearance. And he told police Keimani called him and asked him to come over because people were trying to break into her Elm Street home. And Darnell told police he stayed with her until 12:30 in the morning and then he left. Now, Keimani's grandmother, Dorothy, arrived home at 9:30 in the morning. She told police she noticed several unusual things. The door was not locked. She found Keimani's glasses and house keys inside, and all 4 stovetop eyes and the oven were turned on. And also very concerning for Dorothy was the discovery of Keimani's underwear and pajama bottoms in the dining room. This was not a location where the girl would change, Dorothy told police. Now, we know from court documents that Jones told police he killed Keimani in the Miami Street home where her body was found, but we don't know where police believe she was sexually assaulted. Could that clothing be an indication it was done inside her home? It is one of several questions we still can't answer.
And Tiara will react to this information by gaslighting as usual. Instead of holding this monster of a baby daddy accountable, she would shift the focus on Dorothy and insinuated that she was lying about the events that took place when she arrived home that morning. All the while by sticking to the story that Darnell concocted about somebody breaking in and Keimani giving him a call around 12:30 and him sitting with her. Come on, make it make sense. The police retrieved Darnell's phone records and best believe it wasn't no phone call placed from Keimani to him anywhere in that timeline. And Tiara know this for a fact, but yet and still, she still defend her baby daddy.
Very last thing, my mom smokes like a fucking chimney. She claimed that when she walked into the house, the gas pilots were on the stove. The last call that my daughter placed was at 1:45 in the morning, and that was to her dad. And according to him, he never received it. So if my daughter went missing at approximately 1:45 and you didn't get home until about 10 o'clock, that's about a good 8 hours that gas stove would have been on. 9 times out of 10, knowing my mother, she would have walked into that house smoking.
And it's a theory out there that Darnell and Tiara was in cahoots. I hope it ain't true, but what's done in the dark shall come to light, and everything's starting to come full surface. And look here, I've been doing some digging, and I bet y'all didn't know that Tiara and Darnell got a 4-year-old daughter together. In fact, his current baby mother that turned him in, was privy to this information, and she confirmed that he brought the baby to their house before. Her and Darnell also shared a 2-year-old daughter together. So when you seen Tiara holding that baby when she was in Toledo, oh yeah, that was Darnell's daughter. She just happened to leave that part out for some reason.
Mama.
Tell her.
Say hi, Mom.
But wait, the plot thickens. Tiara is a mother of 4, with the first 2 taken at birth and the last one taken at 3.5 months old. It is said that Darnell is also the father of Tiara's oldest boy, Keimani, who was allegedly born while Tiara was incarcerated for drug trafficking. He was removed at birth and placed in foster care. Her other son, Ken, was also taken away from her after she was convicted of felonious assault with a deadly weapon and child endangerment for the 2nd time. So now that we have it established that Keimani wasn't Tiara's only child with this killer, in fact, they possibly had 3 kids together, I'm pretty sure now you can understand why she was protecting him so much. Believe it or not, Darnell was the bridge to Tiara seeing Keimani, meaning that Darnell spent more time with Keimani than Tiara.
Found out about it shocked me because I do know that Dorothy does have Tiara blocked. Usually if there's a communication, it would be through Darnell or someone else. As far as like Keimani visiting, this is to also answer the question in the comment. She did have multiple visits with her daughter. Her father would be the form of transportation.
I don't know how true her statement is. We can take it with a grain of salt. However, I do believe the reason that Tiara lied to the judge and didn't tell her about Darnell bringing Keimani to Cleveland is because she was protecting it. Darnell took Keimani to Cleveland without Dorothy knowing. And when she figured out where they were, she called Darnell in a panic and told him he better bring Keimani back to Toledo immediately. Toledo to Cleveland is roughly about a 2-hour drive. Man, I tell you, it's sad and sickening how she protected this monster even in Keimani's death. And Darnell's little brother spoke out and set the record straight in defense of the Ogletrees. In this moment, he revealed how his family felt about this situation. Initially, he wanted to remain anonymous, but he explained he'd been seeing posts about the Ogletrees and people making posts about his other family members' records. So he was like their representative to tell their side of the story. So he goes on to say 2017, 18, or somewhere around that timeline, Darnell came to Cleveland from Toledo to visit. And while he was up there, he reconnected with Tiara. And that was the first time that Darnell and Tiara told his family about Keimani's birth. Check it out. Darnell told his younger sibling in a conversation that he didn't take a DNA test for Keimani, but always claimed her as his daughter. But no phone call or FaceTime was given to Keimani, so the family never really got to meet her personally. He stated Tiara never really kept in touch with his side of the family unless Darnell was around. And he described Darnell around his family as the fun, drunk uncle that would get drunk too much and get loud and out of pocket sometimes. But his family didn't stand for that. He said they was quick to get on his ass like a back pocket. And he knew it. Fast forward to 2020. Around that time, Darnell moved to Cleveland with the help of his family. He mentioned they helped him get a car, a job, and a loving church family for support.
Yeah, if you want to talk to the altar, it seems like it's just one of them days. You want something so come on, get out. If you need to get up, raise your hand and just walk and worship me.
At that time, he stayed out of trouble and just spent time with his family, all positive times, he said.
Going back to the east side, just got done with basically what my lawyer told me to do. Had to get a drug evaluation, you guys. And guess what? It feels good to be clean.
But his brother let it be known that he didn't mention Keimani at this time. So he said fast forward to 2021 now, early in the year. Tiara is back with Darnell again, but no calls or mentions of Keimani from neither of them. Damn. So he say fast forward again. Darnell moved back to Toledo. Some time passes and the next time Keimani's name was brought up again was when she came up missing and this story unfolded. Wow. So basically what he's saying is his family never even had a chance or the pleasure of meeting Keimani and only heard Keimani's name mentioned twice between Darnell and Tiara in 14 years. Then he asserts Darnell is a grown man that makes his own decisions, and he deserves everything he got coming. But this is the second time that the Ogletrees caught a stray surrounding the situation. So he was kindly asking for the people to keep his family, the Ogletrees, out of their attacks because they are not a part of this case. He said, so keep your mean and negative comments directed at Darnell. He also asked for an apology for some comments made about his mom, Linda Ogletree. He said she was a good mother and just fell on hard times. And he was explaining that him and Darnell was also in the foster system. And Darnell and his biological mother was working on repairing their past relationship and it was turning out great. Then he stated, I made this post anonymous, not defending or accusing. And he's just stating what he's been told and what he's witnessed. He said, granted, the years of time might be slightly off, but he still stand on this information. And he said his brother Darnell said out his own mouth, the reason Tiara kids was taken was because she was hoeing and dealing drugs with him. You can't make this shit up. That woman that set up the GoFundMe for Tiara told the brother that's a lie. Tiara wasn't messing with Darnell in 2021. He said, I ain't say they was in a relationship but brief encounters. She responded to him by saying, as I said in the other post, I can't wait for all the facts and the truth to come out. And I hope all of you with this negative energy towards this mother had the same energy. And he definitely didn't tell no lies. The timeline match up. He said Darnell came down in 2020. Darnell would make a post November the 15th, 2020, and Tiara would jump under the post commenting, good morning, baby daddy. Just for context, in the next clip, Darnell turns on the camera laying in the bed and asks someone to turn on the light and a voice distinctively that sounds like Tiara asks for a cigarette, and he replies quickly telling her to be quiet because he's on live. Although he was married at the time, but that's another story.
Turn the light on. Oh, snits.
Look at those cigarettes.
I'm going live. Nobody.
Can you do this?
And that all add up because they had Zaza in 2021. Darnell knew baby mama already confirmed that. But what I need y'all help with is something I really couldn't come to grips with. Why on March the 21st, 2020, why did Tiara make a post saying that she needed help and she only had some grits and pancake mix in the fridge and she haven't been employed in over 7 months? And she called for action. She stated that she was a single mother of 4, aged 9, 6, 5, and 4. When we all know in 2020, Tiara didn't have any kids in her custody. By this time, they was all taken by then and Zaza didn't come along till 2021. You gotta be a bold motherfucker to post something like that and all your kids in the system. But see, it didn't stop there. In 2022, y'all remember she was asking money for the probate lawyer, right? Well, she must have ran her lawyer fee heist back one more time because this time she said she needed help with money because Dorothy got Keimani and rather give her to children's services than give her to her. Well, that statement speaks volumes. Do y'all think she would have actually used the money to get a lawyer this time, or was it just another cash grab? Let me know below. Now that I think about it, TBD said their investigation isn't over. Now remember, they got Tiara, Dorothy, Darnell, and his mother phone records, so they heard everything that was said behind closed doors. What's done in the dark shall come to the light. See, this is a major case. They gonna go through all them interviews that Tiara conducted and use them as evidence when they find inconsistencies. So don't be surprised when more people get arrested. They raided Darnell's cousin KP that was allegedly accomplished. See, but the police didn't immediately release that information to the public. They kept that under wraps. What stuck out in their investigation was they found the hatchet and a knife. And y'all remember when Tiara said in that interview that KP was with the killer Darnell when he brought Keimani to Cleveland right before she went missing? She put him right in the car with Darnell, possibly making him an accessory to murder. But for some reason, that's the last time she spoke on him. And only mentioned Dorothy from there on out.
The man sat in my house for a whole 2 hours with me, Darnell.
So when he said he went with a cousin, and I was like, do you know the cousin, Sierra, or?
The cousin's name is KB. I don't know him. I've seen him one time. I've met him one time. But he's not from what I know, he's not a talker. The man sat in my house for a whole 2 hours with me, Darnell, and Keimani, my friend, and my youngest daughter, and he probably said all of like 3 words.
And so
That's
they
how
said
was at the, when they came over to Dorothy's house that day. He was just sitting there and like saying,
Yeah, he's an observer for sure. He's sitting back and he's watching what's happening. But like I promise you, that entire 2 hours he was at my house, I think the only thing he said was like, "Let me hit that," talking about a cigarette type shit. Like he really don't talk.
Darnell Jones Ogletree pleaded not guilty to killing his 13-year-old daughter, Kei'Mani Latigue, this week. But our 11 Investigates team is learning much more about the police investigation into her death. Lead investigator Brian Duggar joins us in the studio. Brian, you have some interesting records.
Yeah, we obtained 11 different warrants this morning, and they show that detectives immediately zeroed in on not only Darnell Jones, but also his cousin, Kalop Jones-Dixon. So the men told police they went to Keimani's house after she called to say she was scared. Police said they were seen on a surveillance video at the house. And Darnell Jones said they stayed until 12:30 in the morning. Then he was dropped off at home by Jones-Dixon, but police were suspicious of these stories. And during searches last month, a plastic car mat, boots, clothing, phones, a gun, a knife, hatchet, a security system, and other items were taken from the men's homes. In addition, a red spot was swabbed for DNA in Jones-Dixon's home, and his roadie account was seized to check GPS data. Now, phone records were also obtained for the phone of Linda Ogletree, the mother of Darnell, and records indicate police believe she talked to him in a recorded call in the days after the disappearance. However, she told police she had not talked to him and knew nothing about the case. Now, at this point, Darnell Jones is the only person charged in this case, but these filings indicate police are also looking at other possibilities. Now, a phone number we had for Jones-Dixon was not in service, but if he wants to reach me to discuss this story, he can contact me at 11investigates@WTUL.com.
This is a deeply tragic and heartbreaking case that highlights the danger of misplaced loyalty and the failure to protect the most vulnerable. In a world of true crime, we often come across stories that make us question how justice is served and how victims, especially children, are felt by those who's meant to protect them. Because children enter this world innocent, unaware of its cruelties, and it's our responsibility to shield them from harm. Yet in some cases, love, artificial or misguided, can cloud judgment. She hesitated to hold Darnell fully accountable, knowing she had 2 children left with him, even in the face of an undeniable brutality. The horrific murder and abuse of his 13-year-old child raised chilling questions. Was his refusal to take a DNA test for Keimani connected to his motives? Was it about control, money, or something even darker? And as for baby Zah, who was in Darnell's presence the week before Keimani's disappearance, an immediate medical evaluation is crucial to ensure her safety. With law enforcement actively investigating this case, more arrests are likely to be made. Justice must be served, and the protection of innocent kids shouldn't be compromised. Justice for Keimani. And let's just hope the system doesn't fail her again.